All right, thanks, guys. We are currently 4-0 in our last four crowd pleaser teaser picks on my Patreon website. We're also 10-4 in our last 14 crowd pleaser teasers on that site as well. And the great news is we have an NBA tier package play going off tonight where we are 6-1 in our last 7 NBA tier package plays on that site. We're over 1,100 members strong on that website. Link for that site is in the description section below. Once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage, where we do daily premium sports picks on that site, beginning at just $1.99 per month. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free lines and personal leans here for the NBA. Good to have some NBA action back after the All-Star break. And we're going to start with the Bucks taking on the Pistons, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Detroit. The Bucks are laying 13 on the road here, total at 224. We saw a 1-point move toward the Bucks and movement downward on the total. Milwaukee opened as the 12-point favorite, up to minus 13. Total opened 224.5, down to 224 even. 65% of the consensus are leaning toward the Bucks. 60% are shaded toward the over. Right now, Detroit is plus $7 on the money line. Now, if you like the Pistons covering the number, just keep in mind that they're just 11-19 straight up at home, and they've dropped 8 out of their last 10 games. Now, Detroit ranks in the bottom 10 in scoring, bottom 3 in offensive rebounding. They're also pretty bad against the number at home as well. Out of their 30 home games, they've successfully covered the point spread in just 11 of them. Now, a couple more things to add about the Pistons. They're just 40% against the spread in their last 10. They rank in the bottom 10 in defensive field goal percentage, bottom 3 in home offensive rebounding. The Pistons are currently in the 12th seed in the Eastern Conference at just 19-38 overall for the year, and they are 6 games back of that 8th spot. Now, Milwaukee on the other side, winners of 5 out of their last 6. They're also 21-5 straight up when traveling this year. They're currently first in the East, best record in the NBA at 46-8, and they've successfully covered the point spread in 5 out of their last 6. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 30 points a game, 14 rebounds, 6 assists for him. Chris Middleton, 20 points a game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. And Eric Bledsoe, 16 points per contest, 5 rebounds, 5 assists for the Bucks. Milwaukee ranks first in the NBA in scoring on average per game. They're also first in offensive rebounding. They're averaging 120 points per contest. And one more thing to add, if you're a fantasy guy or if you're just a fan of three-point shooting, Kyle Korver is out. No Korver tonight. Now, total-wise, Milwaukee 2-0 to the over in their last couple of games, 5-3 to the over in their last 8. Meanwhile, the Pistons 20-10 to the over when traveling. I'm going to lean Milwaukee minus 13 and the over 224 in that game. Next contest, Heat taking on the Hawks, 7:30 Atlanta. The Heat are minus 6, total 230.5. We saw a 1-point move toward Miami and movement downward on the total. The Heat open as the 5-point favorite, up to minus 6. Total open 231.5, down to 230 and a hook. 67% are leaning Miami, 62% on the over. Right now, Atlanta's plus 210 on the money line. Now, Herter and Hunter are questionable for tonight's action for Atlanta. The Hawks have dropped 5 out of their last 7 games. They rank in the bottom 10 in offensive field goal percentage, bottom 10 in offensive rebounding. We're looking at a Hawks team who's allowing 119 points per contest on average. They're also second to last in the East at just 15-41 overall in the year. A couple more things to add about the Hawks. They rank in the bottom 3 in points allowed on average per game, bottom 5 in defensive rebounding. Now, Miami on the other side, a couple guys banged up. Leonard and Hero are out for tonight's action. But regardless of that, Miami ranks in the top 3 in shooting the 3 ball, top 3 in defensive rebounding. They're currently locked in as the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference at 35-19 overall for the year. They rank the top 3 in defending the 3 ball, top 10 in defensive rebounding on the road. Jimmy Butler, 21 points a game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. Goran Dragic, 16 points a game, 5 assists for him. And Bam Adebayo, 16 points a game, double-digit rebounds, 5 assists for him. Miami's 32-22 to the over on the year. Meanwhile, Atlanta, 70% to the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean Miami Heat minus 6 in the over 230.5 in that contest. Next game, Brooklyn versus the Sixers. 8 o'clock, Wells Fargo Center in South Philly. The Sixers are laying 8 points, total at 217. We saw a half a point fade of Philly and movement downward on the total. The Sixers open 8.5, down to -8. Total open 217.5, down to 217 even. 56% are leaning Philly, 71% on the over. 56% of the consensus are leaning Philly, 71% on the over. Right now, the Nets are plus $3 on the money line. Now, if you like Brooklyn on the road here, it's going to be a tough test for them. Philly is a very good home team, but Brooklyn's won 4 out of their last 5 games. They're also 7-3 straight up in their last 10. The Nets doing a great job covering the number as of late, 80% against the spread in their last 10. They rank the top 3 in the NBA in offensive rebounding, top 5 in defensive field goal percentage. Now, Kyrie's out. We're not going to see him tonight, but it's really no big deal because these guys play better without him. So I really wouldn't worry about Kyrie being out. Spencer Dinwiddie, 21 points a game, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Karis LeVert, 15 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. And Jared Allen, 11 points a game, double-digit rebounds, 2 blocks. Now, Brooklyn, believe it or not, they're currently in the 7th seed in the East. They're 2 games ahead of Orlando in the conference. They also rank the top 3 in road offensive rebounding, top 5 in road defensive field goal percentage. So Brooklyn, kind of quietly just cruising along. And if you didn't know it, it would be tough to believe that they're actually in the 7th seed right now. But anyway, Philly on the other side, really not tearing up the point spread this year. They failed to cover in 7 out of their last 10. They rank the bottom 10 in scoring, bottom 5 in offensive free throw percentage, really struggling from the stripe. The Sixers, 3-4 straight up in their last 7. They also failed to cover against the likes of Chicago, Atlanta, and Golden State within their last 10 games as well. Now, 5 out of Brooklyn's last 6 games did stay under the total. I think Brooklyn should be able to keep it close here. Give me the Nets plus 8 and the under 217 in that game. Next contest, Hornets versus the Bulls. And that's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in the Windy City. The Bulls are the 5-point favorite at home, total at 211. Half a point move towards Chicago and movement upward on the total. The Bulls open 4.5 up to -5. Total open 210 up to 211. 53% are leaning Charlotte. 78%. Did I take a break yet? I don't think I did. Before we go ahead and get into that, guys, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Thursday's NBA action. Happy Thursday to you. The weekend is almost here. And for some of you, if you're planning on playing hooky on Friday, maybe get the sniffles, the weekend is pretty much here for you. So happy Thursday to you. In that case, the weekend is finally here. But guys, before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick time out just to quickly and conveniently remind you once again about my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where we do daily premium sports picks on that website beginning at just $1.99 per month. And we have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you could subscribe to. Now, we improved our record in a couple different tiers yesterday for Wednesday's action, but overall just a 2 and 3 day on that site. So not a great day collectively, although we did improve our record in 2 packages yesterday. But regardless, we're currently 4-0 in our last 4 crowd pleaser teasers on that site. We're also 10-4 in our last 14 crowd pleaser teasers as well. So pretty good sample size there of the crowd pleaser teaser, doing very well over the past couple of weeks. We're also 6-1 in our last 7 NBA tier package plays. I know a lot of guys in the comments section on Patreon just waiting for NBA to come back, kind of chomping at the bit there. And the good news is we do have an NBA tier package play going off tonight. So if you want some more information, just go to the website and take a look at that NBA tier. But once again, we are 6-1 in our last 7 NBA tier package plays on that site. And guys, if you're curious or you think, what's the deal with this website? I have over 1,100 members on that site. I mean, it's a very, very popular site We're going very strong, very active in the comment section, and it's a great community over there. A lot of really, really strong handicappers. So, guys, click the link in the description section below and visit me at patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into our next game. And once again, that is the Bulls hosting the Hornets, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Chicago. The Bulls are -5, totals to 11. Half a point move toward Chicago and movement upward on the total. The Bulls open 4.5 up to -5. Total open 210 up to 211. 53% are leaning Charlotte, 78% on the over. Right now the Hornets are plus $1.80 on the money line. Now Charlotte, winners of their last 2 straight going into the break. They also successfully covered the point spread in those 2 victories. The Hornets rank in the top 10 in points allowed on the road, top 3 in defending the 3 ball on the road. Devontae Graham, 18 points a game, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. Terry Rozier, 18 points a game, 5 boards for him. And Miles Bridges, 13 points a game, 6 rebounds for this Hornets team. Charlotte just 5.5 games back of a playoff spot in the East. So even though they struggled in many different spots this year, they're still in the hunt. They are not eliminated. As a matter of fact, they are right in the mix there. And believe it or not, Charlotte is 15-14 against the spread when traveling this year. Now, Chicago on the other side, they really limped into the All-Star break. Losers of their last 6 straight. They're just 11-16 straight up at home this year. Porter, Dunn, Valentine, Markin, and Carter, they're all out. Most of them have been out indefinitely for a significant period of time. Chicago really banged up right now. The Bulls rank in the bottom 10 in scoring, bottom 10 in offensive field goal percentage. They lost to the likes of Washington, Brooklyn, and Sacramento within their last 10 games. They're just 19-36 overall for the year. And out of their 27 home games, they've successfully covered the point spread in just 11 of them. Now, 2 more things to add about Chicago. They rank in the bottom 5 in offensive rebounding, bottom 10 in defensive field goal percentage. Now, here's an interesting stat for you. Chicago, 8-0 to the over in their last 8. 8 straight overs for this Bulls team. Meanwhile, Charlotte, 4-3 to the over in their last 7. I like the road dog in this matchup here. Give me Charlotte +5 and the over 211 in that game.